Welcome back to another episode of the Real Table Podcast. I'm your boy Michael Carter, and I'm joined by my boy Cornelius Pewu. Cornelius, what's up, bro?
What's going on? What's poppin'?
Bro, it's been a little minute. I think the last time you were on was it for Loki?
I was gonna say maybe Loki. It was definitely one of them shows. Definitely one of the Disney shows. Definitely one of the MCU shows.
Yep. So yeah, bro, I was glad to get you back on. I think you're the only person. Am I lying? No, there might be one other person that has seen Deadpool and Wolverine. But
Okay.
I think it's just you and another guy. The rest of my friends, they've been dragging their feet.
Okay.
So I was like, I gotta get somebody on here that's seen the movie, and you're like, I'm seeing it. And then you told me, you're like, I want to be on the podcast. I was like,
no, man, it's been a little bit, like you said. It's definitely been the better part of the year, at least since Loki.
Right.
And then, yeah, man, I think it's because I had seen 2 right before 3.
Okay.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second.
Right. Okay. All right. Bet. But before we get into that, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. We got to talk about it. Like, we came into this weekend, we were hyped about Deadpool and Wolverine. Yep. I honestly forgot that Comic-Con was going to be this past weekend.
I honestly had no clue. So when I'm seeing all these news from San Diego, I'm like, I see a hashtag SDCC. I'm like,
right.
Oh, what? Okay.
Yeah, every year. And I think this is the first year in like, it's got to be like 2 years, I think Marvel has been at Comic-Con, because they haven't been because of COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
But then they came back not that long ago when they made that announcement about Blade and all those other movies that have kind of fallen through in a sense. But yeah, Comic-Con was this past weekend, and a huge shocking news came to fruition. Yeah. I was at a concert. I forgot that Marvel's panel was that night, and I was at a concert. Didn't think anything of it. Concert ends. I'm pulling out my phone, and I'm getting messages from multiple people. I'm clicking on the one, and one of the first messages was from my brother. He was like, "Bro, it's real." Because this was rumored. It was rumored a while back that there was some talks happening. I'm like, there's no way. I was like, no way they're going to do this. No, they're going to do this.
Yeah, I mean, so what I remember from a while back is that they were talking about bringing Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans back into the MCU.
Right.
So like that was the rumor from my memory. And I remember just the discourse on Twitter, the discourse between the homies was like, dang, are they really going to revive Captain America and Iron Man again? Like, dang, I know we in this multiverse, but we really going to bring it all the way back to those guys. And so I had totally forgot about Comic-Con this weekend, totally forgotten about the rumors from back then. And so when the news broke, I was just like, yo, my boy's back, know, because, we'll talk about it in a second, but we just saw Wolverine and Deadpool. And, Chris Evans was there. So I'm looking at it like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, Fantastic Four. Okay, bet. Okay, that makes sense. It's a funny little spin on how they're doing that. That was actually a good tie-in.
Right.
I had no clue that any of this was happening. So when I find out, first and foremost, we're in the Doom era. And then I also saw that they're getting rid of Kang in, I guess, somewhat like respectable way. I heard he's going to make an appearance, whatever that means. So it was mad news from, this weekend that I was like, okay, sweet. Like I wasn't the biggest fan of Phase 5. I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and honestly now I probably should go back and watch a few of the shows and movies that I missed, but it's revitalized, I think, a lot of people's expectations of what's coming next. And I think it's revitalized a lot of people's like excitement because I feel like for a little bit, especially after the Jonathan Majors news, dudes were like, "Dang, bro, like, what's Marvel doing, dog?"
Right.
And I think this is what they needed to inject a little bit more enthusiasm in the fan base.
So that's a perspective. I feel like as very few. I'm in the middle. I'm like 50-50 on it. I'm not like exuberantly excited, but I'm also not mad and I don't hate it like other people. I'm just in the middle where I'm like, I want to see what this can be, right? If we're bringing Robert back, and I think I saw today, he's getting paid like 80 mil.
That's a lot, bro.
80 mil. It's like security detail, his own is the private whole plane, 9 yards.
Yeah, I saw that too. And personally, like I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you say your piece, and then I'll formulate how I want to say what I want to say, because it's all super new. I was reading this as I was in the gym.
I think, like, again, since I'm in that middle, I can see and I'm feeling both the tension on each side. I'm like, on one hand, I feel like it's lazy because it's like, I feel like you probably seen it on Twitter. There's a bunch of fan casts out there of actors that could really work to play Victor Von Doom. And then you announce that Robert Downey's coming back. He just got killed off as playing Iron Man. And it's like, is this too soon? Like how's this going to work? Like, is this just a cash grab to get people to believe in it again?
Yes.
Is this like a hard pivot? Because I get the Jonathan Majors stuff, and I think I'm also in the camp of, I kind of wanted them to find another actor to play Kang and kind of fulfill that thing.
Let that play out.
Yeah, let that play out, and then we get into that Doom stuff. So I feel like it's either like, this feels like it's a big old pivot, right? But then there's that other tension where it's like, well, Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor. Right, he signed to play it because I mean, honestly, he's about to get paid. He just won an Oscar, so he's like, I can do whatever the heck I want to do at this point. I want an Oscar, like I can do whatever. And so I also think it could be like, I don't know, there's something cool you can play with the fact that somebody that looks like Tony that died is this new big bad, right? So I'm like, there's all this tension and stuff like that, but like, hey, you already know, I'm gonna be there opening night, Thursday night. I'll be there Thursday night. We can complain. I will be there Thursday night. Funny. You know it, all right?
No, yeah, I agree, and to echo what you said, bro, I agree. I think he's getting paid a whole bunch, and I think it is a crash grab. They just saw him get this Oscar, so they had to pay him a little bit.
Right.
And honestly, we don't know much of the details, and I know that 80 mil looks good, but this is probably for another 2-3 movie contract, if not some show appearances, this, that, and the third. So, I mean, if you break it, yes, it's a lot. It's a lot of money. That's not even cap. It's a lot of money. But if this is something where he's going to be in 2 to 3 movies, possibly in shows, he's going to be working for the next 5 years. You know what I mean? So you're going to get your worth of Robert Downey. I'm excited because he created what we now know as the MCU. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we go all the way back to Iron Man 1 and we go forward to now this phase 5, he built what we now know as the MCU, and we loved him so much because he embodied the character. Yeah. There are some people that are like, can he play Doom? We saw him be Iron Man. Will he be? Yes, I think he's one of those guys that once he's in that character, he's going to embody the character. Right. And that's why I'm excited. It's a little lazy, 100%. Yeah. It's a cash grab, 100%. To echo what I just said, I think a lot of the longtime fans like me and you, people that are older than us that were reading the comics when the comics were dropping weekly, I think those people are kind of seeing the laziness. And, with a grain of salt, they're just like, why are we going this way? And for me, and I think it's because Phase 5 was so that they were losing a lot of people. Now, whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, just like you said, people gonna be in that seat.
Yes.
Wednesday night, bro. They're gonna be lining up behind these theaters.
Yes,
you know what
sir.
I mean? They did this because they know they're gonna have fans that are upset. They know they're gonna have fans that are mad. They know they're gonna have fans that are happy. They're gonna have fans that are in the middle and so.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just gonna build so much anticipation. That we all gonna go see it, and that's why I said I'm excited because I can read between the lines. You know what I mean? We're adults now, so we can kind of see when things are looking a certain way.
Right.
Yeah, it's a cash grab. But at the end of the day, bro, I'm gonna be there with the popcorn, with my suit on. You feel me? I might even go cop a little Doom mask. And they better open up the movie with MF Doom, like everybody's been saying on Twitter. You know, there's just so many things that are going to lead up to this in the next couple of years that I think we're going to forget about it. It's going to die down, and then we're going to see how it unfolds in a little bit. And I think everyone's going to be, at least I hope that we're all given a good product, so we could be like, all right, cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Dang. He's spitting.
I mean, because that's how I feel like. And I saw people like, oh, why are they doing this? Bro, you're going to go watch 40 movies in the next 2 years and then forget what even we were talking about today.
Yep.
So,
happy all.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You know you're going to be covering it. You know you're going to be covering it.
Exactly.
You can't help it.
So, just be a little patient. Everyone had a little bit of shock factor. That's okay. I'm not mad at anybody's, what anybody had to say. But personally, me, I just hope they get it right. And I can't wait to see what they do. I mean, they got the Russo brothers doing it. So, I mean, how many times have they let us down? For real?
Right. Honestly, I don't think they have.
So
their track record with Marvel is pretty good. It's pretty good.
So I'm excited.
And they too, the Russo brothers, I think Secret Wars was a comic, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they fell in love with. I think he tweeted it out. One of them tweeted it out, and they're like, this is the comic that got us into superheroes in general.
Interesting. Wow.
So
okay.
I think
they're going to put their best foot forward.
I think they're going to take a lot of care with how they do this thing. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But beyond that, they had, some Fantastic Four footage was shown a little bit, which apparently looks really good. They're early into filming, so we're not going to get a whole ton yet. And then I think there was there's some look at the Thunderbolts maybe, which I heard very little about that. And then the next Captain America movie, which is the next Marvel product that'll come out in February of next year. How do you feel about Captain America?
This is probably one of the ones I'm so on. Like I said, like Phase 5 wasn't my favorite phase. And so there was stuff that I missed, and there's stuff that I'm actually rewatching now. But, I'm not mad at Mackie, bro. Like, I think he's a good actor. I think a couple of his storylines have been weak, to be honest. But he's still delivering, and, get your money, black man. As long as we can, keep him in the MCU, I think he'll be pivotal. However, like, he's been here for so long now, you know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, he's been with the Avengers since the Avengers. So it's cool to see him kind of be an OG now and kind of like transition into this next phase, because I don't really know where they're going to take him. I feel like he's a good character, and they kind of just need to stand with him at this point. I'm just interested to see where he goes now that they're incorporating everybody.
Yeah, I think. Speaking of incorporating everybody, I think Kevin Feige said it. I think he said, not everybody that we've come to know, like within this new era, not everybody's going to be at the forefront of these new movies, which is, I think, is a good move. I'm curious to see what that squad looks like, but I feel like we can expect that he would be on that lineup, because I feel like you can't not have a Captain America. Yeah. And also, like you said, Sam has been here for a long time, so I feel like they gotta have him. But yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm in the middle too. I'm hoping it's really good. It looks like it could be Winter Soldier-esque, which is good. And plus, we got the Red Hawk. We got Harrison Ford. who signed up to play a Marvel movie. He's like, man, I don't care. Let's just do this. Let me get my check. And I'm like, hey,
my check, man. I've done everything else.
Look, go ahead, ahead.
You know what I'm
saying?
You. He's done the adventure. I mean, he's been some of the best characters. You might as well get your little Marvel.
You're right. Exactly. Period. So yeah. All right, bro. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
I told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere. Now get the fuck out of my bar.
Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave.
Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now.
Look, lady, I'm not interested.
All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick-tick, so upsy daisy. Here we go. Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider. I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about.
Not my fucking problem.
Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Come again.
This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go fuck yourself.
I don't know anything about saving worlds, but you do.
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero.
You were an X-Man. You were the X-Man. I am soaking wet right now.
Boys are so silly.
This is what I'm talking about. Big slow motion action sequence. Who knows if you live or die? Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching
They
powder?
know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even Forrest Bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes, but I can't.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Initial first reaction. What you got, Corn? What you got?
Initial first reaction. My least favorite out of the 3 Deadpool movies.
Oh,
That's not to say it's bad, bro. That's not
Right,
to say
right.
it's bad.
okay,
But
okay,
definitely my least favorite out of the 3.
okay.
For just a few reasons. Like, the movie was well done from top to bottom. I don't really have a lot of complaints. My complaints are kind of big, I guess.
Right.
But well done. I mean, I was laughing throughout. Typical Deadpool movie. I loved all the cameos that we got to see. But it didn't hit me as hard as One and Two. It
Okay.
didn't hit me as hard as One and Two.
When you say hit hard, what do you mean? Like emotionally or what?
Emotionally, plot. I don't want to necessarily say plot line, but like emotionally, there weren't really any twists. Like, I kind of could tell what was going to happen throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
The acting was top notch.
Yep.
You know, it was. I mean, I don't want to get into my biggest gripe right now. I'll kind of let you say your piece, and I'll go to it. But
Yep.
there wasn't anything bad necessarily about the movie.
Yeah.
It just didn't hit me as hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, that
yeah.
first one was so different for us. I mean, we had, like, the only movie I could really think to compare it to is Kick-Ass. Because
Yeah.
that was like the first like rated R superhero movie that wasn't like a real superhero movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
It felt like anti-hero-ish.
Right.
So besides that, Deadpool came, but it was like we knew who the Deadpool character was. So we were
Right.
kind of expecting one thing, and it was great throughout. 2 was a continuation of 1, and there were even a few little twists. We got to see what's his name, Cable. You know what I mean?
Cable,
And, for OG Marvel, X-Men guys, seeing Cable in that light was dope. So 2 was sweet. 3, I think. I mean, I might as well just go ahead and say it. I think everything was just a little too forced. Like, it just felt forced. Like, every line that Ryan Reynolds gave was banter. It was a joke. Like, he had maybe 3 serious lines the entire movie. Everything was a joke to him, which is cool as Deadpool, but it just felt a little bit too, like, forced. It was. I love how they brought some of the OG X-Men characters back. I love how they brought a lot of the old OG Fox Marvel characters back. Elektra, Blade, XYZ. But some of the things just felt like, okay, now that we have Fantastic Four, and now that we have Deadpool, and now that we have X-Men, let's just throw everything in there and let's just make it one bit. It felt like very multiversy, but forced. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, even bring in the time variance. I like how they incorporated everything, but it just felt like they were throwing everything at you so they could be like, yeah, we covered all of our bases. Sort of.
Okay. I can see that. I can definitely see that. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was super funny. It was fun. The action was pretty dope. And I thought the plot was going to be like super duper weak, but it was like, oh, this is kind of solid.
It made sense. No, it made sense. It made a lot of sense.
And the Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman duo, that was, that's all you could ask for, man. That was so good. It was so good watching them just spit between each other and just go back and forth. I think that's something that I'm like, if I could cut anything, I think I would have cut. I know they fought twice.
Yeah.
I would have cut probably maybe the second fight. I would have cut that.
I wish the first fight was longer.
Yes.
And I agree they could have cut a little bit. The one in the car you're talking about, the second fight.
Yes. I think they could have cut.
It was cool. It was cool. But like,
it was, we dragged.
Yeah. That first fight.
The first fight was like,
if it was like even just 30 seconds longer, bro, like I would have been a little, but it was cool though. I wasn't mad at it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how your theater was, but mine was packed. And mine was packed
same.
to the point where, people were getting involved. Like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
It's like,
he's like, y'all been waiting for this.
It wasn't like too vocal, but at the points where people were like, all right, that's crazy or that's funny, like it was vocal at the right points.
Those are the best kind of theaters. Those are the best kind of theaters, man.
So it was a good, and I honestly think that added to my movie experience because I would say, like, for me, the movie was probably like a solid 8.
Yeah.
The theater had life, and at the right moments, they weren't too loud, they weren't just dead silent.
Right.
So it was a good theater experience. I will say that.
Yep. Same with me. I saw it in IMAX, which was nice. It looked really clean in IMAX. It looked really good. And then my theater was thoroughly involved too. But that first fight was cold. The little gun thing that we saw, it was in the trailers, but when he does it, when you watch it, it don't get old. It's like, that's a 6 shot, It's sick.
Yeah. So take me through it. So how do you feel about that first fight?
I loved it. I thought they were gonna have to do it eventually. I'm like, you can't just have them go buddy, but I'm like, the first moment, I'm like, oh, they about to square off, and they looking at each other, and he looked at the screen. He looking at us. He's like, y'all been waiting for this. Here we go. Let's go.
Thank you, bro. Because I didn't even mean to say this out loud, but he was like, this is what you guys have been waiting for. I'm like, yes, bring it. I was like, and I honestly, like, everyone knew that had to happen.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they had the fight early in their journey together, I was like, wow, this is actually a very dope way of starting their journey, because they were going to fight eventually. So they might as well get it out the way now. And it was such a good fight.
Yep. I enjoyed the fight. It was so good.
Neither of them can die, so who's going to tap out first?
No, exactly. Also, can we talk about how clean that yellow suit looked?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
They got it verbatim.
Dude, that thing looked good. I
Clean.
said, man, we've been waiting on that for a long time too. That one looked good. It looks so good.
Yeah, I mean the outfit. They did well as far as like costume design on everything. I mean, everything just looked like super
Deadpool's
sweet.
suit was nice too. Nice too. It was clean.
You know, even like Blade when he popped up, you know, just like the all black, but you could
Bro,
tell it. You could tell it been updated. I'm like, Wes, you still working now? You got the
way he walked in. He walked in like an old head, bro. He's like, yeah. He walked in.
He did.
I said, oh. I was like, I didn't expect this.
I did not expect it, man. It was good. It was good. Everybody's suit looked clean. I like just how they put everyone together. Even though like you could tell the older characters, like maybe this just might be me. I might be making this up, but it seemed to me slightly that they shot the older characters in a slightly different camera, because when you saw them, I don't want to say it looks grainy, but it looks like there was an effect that made them look a little bit more vintage, if that makes sense.
They might have.
And I could be making that up. It could have just been me in the theater that day.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, why does it look like in a couple scenes they don't seem like they're HD?
Yeah.
and I think
4K.
they did it on purpose, but I don't know. I might have to like rewatch the movie and like check to see if I was just searching for something that wasn't there. But it was cool to me. I was just like, dang, it seems like they're popping out of a portal and they popped from like 2005. Not like they're popping out of a portal from like the other world. Yeah. It seemed like, I don't know.
It might be that might be intentional. It might be.
It could.
I feel like some filmmakers, they'll do stuff like that, whether people will know and see it and appreciate it or not. They'll still do it.
Yeah. It to me, it seemed that way when they hopped out of the portal, but I gotta rewatch. I was gonna rewatch this anyway, but I'm
same.
I'm gonna peek with my eyes.
Yeah, I think I might go tomorrow with some friends to see it again. But speaking of cameos, what are your thoughts on? I mean, we had Blade. We talked a little bit about Blade already. We had Elektra. We had X-23. And then we had Channing Tatum as Gambit, which I did not see that. I did not see that happening.
Yo, so I had to be reminded this from Gerard, but they were supposed to make a Gambit movie and it got canceled.
Yes.
And I guess Channing Tatum was supposed to be Gambit?
Yes. There's photos of him at Comic-Con because they announced it.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, it was faint memory, but I was like, oh yeah, they did. They was supposed to have that. Because Gambit's one of my favorite X-Men.
Dude, yeah.
And they and I feel like the best Gambit was X-Men Origins, where you saw him for like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
You saw him for like 5 minutes in that bar scene because Logan needed to go get his help I can't even remember exactly what happened. Maybe they were looking for Sabretooth. I don't know, something. But you see Gambit for 5 minutes, and I was like, dang, that was like the perfect depiction of who Gambit is for real.
Right.
And that, you don't see him again until X-Men 97. So I'm like, yo, I was not expecting that at all.
No, bro. And then he started talking. I said, oh my God.
Bro, it's so funny. Somebody was like, are we supposed to understand what he's saying in the theater? I was like, I don't know.
I think that might have been intentional.
It was super intentional, I think.
Like, yeah, put together a crappy accent.
It was one of those comedic reliefs where it's like, that's just very funny.
Yeah.
like you're going to laugh no matter what, because everyone's in here like,
what
did he just say?
Oh, man.
And even the characters on screen are looking at him like,
what are you saying?
All right, bro. That was
man. And then his fight scenes too, man. It that really showed you like what it can be in live action. Like when they introduce X-Man, hopefully he's a part of that lineup. He should be. That's what it would look like, and that was so sweet. It was dope. It was dope. Yeah. It was everything, dude. It was so good.
I mean, and honestly, like, I know people have kind of hated on some of their fight scenes, but I think they get their fight scenes right.
Oh yes.
I mean, from the shows to the movies, I think
Yes.
they get their fight scenes right. Even, I mean, not to go all the way back, but Doctor Strange versus Spider-Man. You know, when
that was sick.
when they're fighting for the, can't remember exactly what it was, but that, like, Doctor Strange versus Spider-Man, probably still one of my favorite fights. Because if you're a nerd, you always wonder, like, yo, who got the best powers? Who's the better superhero? Like, who would win if they had to go at it?
Yep.
And so when you actually see these hypotheticals in real life, you're like, oh, okay, sweet. Like, this is probably actually how it will go.
Right. Yeah. Sean Levy, he's pretty. Also, this is something I was writing my write-up, my review about it today, and I thought about it. I'm like, each Deadpool movie, each director always brought something really cool to the action sequences. Like, the action sequences in Deadpool, they're always consistent. You know, whether you think the story is this, the characters are this, the action scenes are always phenomenal. And so it was really cool to see, like, Sean Levy, because he did like Night at the Museum, Real Steel. There's another movie that I can't think of. He did the Atom Project that was on Netflix with Ryan Reynolds. Like, he's done a lot of that comedy action feel, and I feel like he kind of nailed the action sequence of it all. It was just so well done. Yep.
Yeah, and I think the fights, like, there was enough action throughout the movie too. You know, you got 2 or 1.5 Wolverine versus Deadpool. I mean, we didn't even talk about the main villain yet. You know, Charles Xavier's twin. Like,
dude,
and it's not even her action, just like her brain.
Right.
I don't know what phasing. I don't know what you want to call it. Like, just that itself. Like, I think that's something new we haven't seen. Like, somebody actually reaching in and phasing through I mean, Doctor Strange has some stuff, but that was crazy. It was like, you could actually see their eyes moving, and like how they did that was so good to me. I'm like,
you're
like,
in the movie,
like,
crawl.
Cringing, bro. Yes. You're in the movie like, dang, like,
yes.
No.
Yep. You're like, oh my gosh, she's just in there. Ooh. Yeah. So let's talk about her.
Yeah.
Let's talk about her.
How do you like her
what are your thoughts?
I mean, I was just like, if you're this powerful, why are you kind of just like stuck in purgatory? Because, like, if you're the twin of Charles Xavier, you said like your mental abilities aren't as strong as him or whatever, but you over here doing crazy stuff. So for me, I felt like she was a good villain, but for me, that was one of my gripes. Like, you're too strong to just be stuck here.
Yeah.
Like, you, like, how is a TVA the one that's got you? Like, Charles, you know, he damn near could be all the way across the world, come back mentally.
Yeah.
and tap everybody individually. Like, hey, can you do this? Hey, I need you to do that. Singapore, New York, Malaysia, Australia. Like, he's tapping multiple people so if you're his twin, how are you stuck here? That was my biggest gripe. Like, I feel like you would have found out a way to get out of here, but that's just me. But as a villain, though, she was cool. Like, every time she was on screen, she was just like sinister enough, but you could tell it was still a Marvel villain. Right. So she was still a little like witty or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, she was cool. It was just like, if you're this strong, you wouldn't have been captured. That was my only thing.
I almost wonder, that's still a good point. I almost wonder if maybe she knew, even as powerful as she was, maybe she knew somebody up there could get her together. Like, if she's so powerful that she can just run down there, she can run it. You know, she got her own little thing going, and then if she gets out, you know, maybe you know, maybe.
And that was my thing. Is just like, because they're bringing in the TVA, and they're like, okay, Deadpool, like, your timeline is dying, so like, you either need to fix it or it's dead. And then you bring in this super new villain who's stuck in so you're like, wait, so I was just a little confused at like her whole role, I guess, in that specific timeline or not. Because like, you would think that Charles Xavier would be in Deadpool's timeline. Like, you would think that that's what it was. So I don't know. I was just like a little confused, but maybe if I rewatch it again, knowing what I know now, I'll kind of look at it different. It was just like a little bit of the plot was lost on me at that point.
Yeah.
And I was just,
Would you have rather a more maybe somebody that's not as strong be in her position, like somebody that didn't
I
have...
think so. I honestly think so, because I think they kind of just chose like a wrong like power or super villain, because I'm just like, she's way too strong to be caught down here, bro.
Yeah.
Like
it was definitely an interesting choice.
Yeah, I was like, and I don't know who else they would have gone with, because I'm not really familiar with her at all. So
Yeah,
I was just like, man, she can't be that strong. But then I see what she's doing, and I'm like, no, she's strong, bro.
Strong.
She was wrecking
In
dudes.
there.
Like they really couldn't touch her. I mean, she had the telekinesis. I'm like, yo, like, she's powerful, bro.
It
like,
was...
like they really should not be able to stop her.
Nah, bro. I was like, when she was doing all that stuff when they first met her, I was like, I don't know how y'all getting out of this, bro.
Yeah.
Like y'all stuck.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe if it was a lesser villain and somebody that needed like the help of more minions rather than someone who I thought could possibly just do it herself.
Yep, just do it herself. Yep.
Because even when you saw Thanos, like you see Thanos the first time when he has no like just no nothing, and you're like, all right, like he's strong, but if you get the Avengers, like you'll beat him. It wasn't until he started it wasn't until he had like 2 stones, you're like, nah, he's an issue. Like, he need to get him up out of here, bro. Like he need to get up out of here now.
Yeah.
If he get 3,
yeah,
well, just getting a hold over. Yeah, literally. So for me, it was like, I think she's strong enough to like take care of this on her own, but maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah.
That part was the other issue I had. Just a little bit too much like forced.
Yeah.
It just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just felt a little
saying.
forced. Like she's this strong, but she's caught, and the TVA has her, but she's trying to.
Yep. Especially Xavier's daughter. I mean, not daughter,
you know,
sister.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I was like, okay, I guess I'll tag along because it's a movie, but
right. I'll just be here. It's fine.
Because y'all giving me an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 already, so I ain't mad at it, but just a little bit better. Just a little bit. Just like a 5-minute rewrite. You know what I'm saying? Just a 5-minute rewrite.
Just erase that real quick.
But no, I loved her as a villain. I thought she was great on screen, to be honest.
Yep. How do you feel like now that we've seen like Deadpool and Wolverine in the MCU now, like how do you think they fit? I mean, they're not in the sacred timeline, but do you think like it fits?
I kind of hope they don't. I kind of hope they're not in the main. Well, I don't know where we're going, but
yeah,
I kind of hope they're not in the main storyline per se, because I would like their movies to remain like rated R and for a more mature audience, rather than just bring him on every movie because it's Deadpool.
Right.
Like I love the fact, and this is what I wanted to say. Excuse me. I love the fact that 1 and 2 were not in the MCU, because it allowed Fox to just be as free as they wanted to and be like, yo, this is Deadpool. Like, we're not watching no X-Men. We're not watching no Marvel. Like, this is a Deadpool movie. We're going to make it as gratuitous as we want. Like, we're going to go a little off the wall. Like, this really ain't for kids for real. And I like that because it's allowing them to free up. Like, even this movie was cool, bro. Like, yeah, there were a lot of kids in there, which they probably shouldn't have been.
Right.
But it was still Marvel-esque, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of the jokes were over the head. There was a lot of violence, but it wasn't as gory as, some of the first couple of Deadpool movies. So for me, I'm like, cool. Like, I like that this is all here now, but if they can kind of still keep this trend going, just kind of over. Like, for me, if they make like a Deadpool TV show and just have that rated R, cool. Because then they don't necessarily have to keep making movies where he's the main focal point or whatever. So we'll see what they do with it, but I'm not mad at it, bro. Like I said, I think the way they brought in all of the characters, even going all the way back to like the first couple of X-Men, like Toad was in this movie, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Like Nightcrawler's brother was in this movie. I forget his name. The Red Devil. I'm like, yo, they bring in like mad characters from the cartoon I used to watch on Kids WB, my guy. Like, even having the other Juggernaut, you know what I'm saying? So it was cool to see how they all were intertwined. Like that was, you know, for me as a nerd who was watching this as a kid, like, I was really in the seats, like,
like this
okay, let's go. You know what I mean? Yeah, literally, man. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, I thought they did it good. They did it well. I think it was good not to move him from that timeline, just to keep him in that timeline, because I mean, you can still be a part of the Marvel Universe and the MCU and not be a part of the sacred timeline. So I like that they kept them over here and separate, and they can exist in doing what they're doing. And I agree, they got to keep that R rating. I don't think they will dismiss it, because I know that was a lot of the tension when Disney bought all the rights and stuff like that, and bought Fox. They were like, okay, they have Deadpool. Is Deadpool going to be rated R? Is it going to be PG-13? And Kevin Feige was like, it's going to be R. It's going to be R. And also Kevin Feige announced that Blade is going to be R. So I feel like if he's saying Blade is going to be R, I feel like that the odds of another Deadpool movie in the future, if they do it, I could see it being R. But I also like what you said about doing a TV show. I never thought about that. I think that would be really sweet if they did a TV show. Do some similar to like the Daredevil TV show.
Honestly,
I think that's gonna be mature, have a mature rating, and it's gonna be just as violent as the Netflix shows.
And I didn't read all of the comics when I was a kid, just because we couldn't buy them, so I was going to the public library and just
you go. Yep, that's how you do it.
But so after we watched, backstory, before we went to watch 3, Eric Jackson and Gerard, or I think Gerard had seen 2, but Eric Jackson hadn't seen 2. So we watched 2 and then watched 3 directly after.
Yeah.
And what kept popping up in 2 was X-Force. So I'm like, bro, what is X-Force? So I went and did my homework, and I'm looking up X-Men and all the spin-off characters and who's part of what team and who's part of what. So there's mad different spin-offs of a lot of these characters. Even Megasonic Teenage, she's part of X-Force. It's her, Colossus, a couple other people. So I'm looking at it yo, now that we're here, it would be dope if we have TV shows of the spin-off characters, like the X-Force, like Jean Grey and like her kids, like her and Scott's kids and all that, because there's mad timelines and there's mad family trees. So to see where they are now, because they have everything, it would be cool if they made even if they were just cartoon shorts, you know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of like what they do with Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or with Star Wars. Sorry, with Star Wars, how they have spin-off shows. You Clone Wars, they have Rebels, and they have the What Ifs. So if they did something like that with Marvel, I think that would keep their fan base not only happy, but it gives them a variety, so they're not just doing heavily relying on the movies.
I think too, especially with X-Men 97 being received well and people really enjoying that. And even the What Ifs, people enjoying the What Ifs. It's I think that I could see them really digging deep into that animation world and going, what other stories can we spend to tell on this format rather than taking $200 million and making a big budget movie, I'd be down for that. I'm so down for that. This conversation makes me want to, I've been thinking about this actually since the movie too. I want to go back. I'm I need to start reading more comics. I was reading Secret Wars. I still am reading Secret Wars. I'm still in the middle of reading it because I'm bad at reading, but I'm really in this itching mood where I'm I just want to read more comics and take in everything.
Yeah.
Especially with all these new characters, or even with DC coming, kind of making hopefully a comeback with their new stuff. And I'm it makes me kind of excited to want to learn more about these characters and to see how these other stories are made or formed and stuff like that.
Because we're this just might be be me talking. But bro, we got a Justice League, we got an Avengers. We gonna see Justice League versus Avengers in our lifetime. Like they're like I don't know how or when or why it'll happen.
Yeah, it'll happen.
But we gonna see, like we're gonna see it in our lifetime. I hope, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, I kind of want to go back as well. You know, it is hard to read, but it's cool that a lot of these things now are like online and digitized, so you don't have to go get physical copies. You can kind of just pay a subscription and just read all the comics you want.
Yep.
I kind of want to go back because I want to have like the lore. You know, like now that we are where we are.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read all of that.
Like especially with Doom. Like I feel like I know Doom. I know he can be powerful. Yeah. But I'm like, there's stuff there that I need to dig into.
Yeah, you know, especially now that they're reviving 97. We're on season 2, probably a season 3. Yeah. However long that goes, you know, it would be dope just to be able to have the lore between that and what the movies will be now.
Yep. Yep. What do you think now, like after watching that movie? Is like the MCU, like are we back or are we still like on the fences? Like how do you feel like about, you know, the state of the MCU right now?
It's crazy, bro, because I was like a legitimate child when these movies started. And so like bro, I remember the first Avengers movie. Me, my older brother, and my younger brother went to the midnight release. I believe it was Thanksgiving. I believe it was Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
Whenever that first Avengers movie came out, maybe like 2009, 2010. And my mom was on a mission trip. My mom was a nurse and she was in Thailand on a mission trip. And my brother was like, yo, like, y'all trying to go see this Avengers movie? And I had never been to a midnight release, like ever. And I'm like, bro, what? He's like, yeah, y'all trying to go? Like, it's at midnight. It's at Severance. We can go.
Severance, rest in peace.
I'm like, yeah, bro. And it was my first time going to a midnight release. And it was my first time seeing people actually like dress up in character. And like the allure, bro, I will never forget it. Just like that first Avengers movie. Like, I still remember exactly the feeling going to it, getting my ticket. I think I'm so mad I don't have my ticket anymore. I lost it in one of my college apartments. But like, I was such a kid when these movies started up until now, where I can kind of like read between the lines, see why Donovan Majors isn't going to be Kang anymore. You know, when I was a kid, I would just be like, yo, wait, what happened? Now, like, I can read and figure out who's doing what director is shooting, you know, the $80 million man. I can kind of see, you know, I can kind of see behind the curtain a little bit. Yeah. And so for me, I'm always going to be a fan, bro. Like, I will never not be a fan. Yeah. But I'm starting to look at things and be like, if this is good, it's good. And if it's bad, it's bad. And if it's so-so, it's so-so. You know what I mean? So I'm able to kind of like separate like the allure I have from when I was a kid up until now. Look at it more with, you know, just more like movie-going appreciation of the art type of eyes. Mm-hmm. So for me, bro, I'm always going to be a fan. Like, it doesn't matter where they go with it because I'm going to be here for the ride. Yep. I just hope, you know, you're going to be doing this forever so I can hop on every now and then to be like, yeah, it was all right. Or, bro, this was dope. You know what I mean? I'm always just going to give my honest opinion. Yes. But I'm going to always show up. Like, I'm going to always be there because I'm too entwined at this point. Yeah. I've been watching cartoons since I was like 6 years old. Yep. we need deep. We need deep. Yeah. Like, I've been doing no going back. If I'm going back, and that's FOMO. And I don't want to experience no FOMO. I'm gonna be there. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. No, so for me, I'm excited. I'm just here. I'm just hope they give us good product. Like I said, like I'm happy for Robert Downey. That's my guy. That's you know, Audi 3000. You know, now we're back 3000. Let's go until 3000. Until the year 3000, we gonna have Marvel. You know what I mean? So let's just keep going, bro. Just give me good product.
Yep. I love it. I'm right there too. I ain't going nowhere. I'm excited to see like next year is gonna be stacked. It's gonna be popping. Thunderbolts, Captain America, Fantastic Four, Like we're gonna have a stacked year next year, and I'm really excited about it.
I still remember seeing Silver Surfer in
yes,
theater,
dude.
bro.
Oh
Like,
man,
I
dude,
can't
Rise
remember,
of
like when
Silver
he went
Surfer?
upside down in the
Yes.
trains and
Yes.
like in that little tunnel, bro. I remember, like I was there, bro. I was really
Yes,
outside
sir.
watching these movies.
Yep.
So yeah, so no, I'm super excited. I'm glad everything's back because it'll just make the movie going experience fun again, and it'll make it, you know, like hopefully this just continues. So like we continue to have good product. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I want, bro. Just give me a good product.
Yep.
You guys are
I'm right
spending
there with you.
absorbent money. You know, you're making billions, so at least give us a product that we could be like, all right, that was worth what you made.
Right. Exactly. That was worth the wait. Yep. Nah, I get you, bro. I love that. I love it. Any last words, bro? Any last words?
Nah, man. I'm happy. It's so funny because it's so funny that you didn't know because I totally forgot about Comic-Con. So just having that news off the strength of the movie, Marvel's back in most people's either good graces or they're back in the news. That's for sure.
I've heard that bad press is good press. I've always heard that.
All press is good press, man. All press is. I'm telling you, the discourse online is exactly what they wanted.
Yes.
This is something they probably have been working on for a minute. So they just decided to roll this out now. Why? You know what I mean? They could have rolled it out whenever, for real. They really could have rolled it. I mean, this movie ain't coming out till 25. They could have rolled it out next year. They could have rolled it out late. We don't know. They just said 25 and 26. We don't know when these movies dropping.
Yep.
But they decided to do this on purpose. So it's to build anticipation, bro. That means they got stuff in the pipeline coming out that they haven't told us yet.
Oh yeah, bro.
There's definitely some more surprises. You know what I'm saying? I know how they think now.
Yeah.
I know how they think.
They know. They know we like we old enough now.
They got me. Once I saw that, I was like, oh, we back.
Dude.
We back, baby.
My butt will be in that seat with my medium popcorn, layered butter. All right, I'll be there.
You already know it.
Nice, bro. As always, I appreciate you hopping on, bro. We gotta get you on for something else that's not Marvel, but as always, we gotta get you on for the Marvel stuff. We gotta get you on for the nerd stuff, dude. Got to.
Yeah, man. But so what have you been watching lately? What are you excited for as far as movies, TV?
Movies. Off the top of my head, I was just talking to my roommate about this. He's a big Alien guy.
Okay.
He's also a big like old school movie guy too. So he likes the first Alien and I think the 2 and 3 and stuff. Like he likes Alien movies. Before Deadpool, like for the trailers, they showed the new Alien and they showed it like it was like an IMAX trailer for the movie.
Okay.
I was blown away, bro. I mean, the trailer itself, when you go see the trailer, you're like, oh, this looks like it's gonna be sick. Okay. It looks like it's back to the basics, the old school, scary type stuff. It looks really good. So I think that one is August 17th, I think. The weekend of the 17th, I think, is when it comes out. But that one, like if you're Alien guy, you're a horror movie person, that's gonna be the movie to look forward to.
Crazy thing is, I never really was, but I've just started getting into them. Like I'm gonna put that on my list because I know there's Alien all the way up to like 3, then Alien vs Predator.
Yeah.
I've seen, I believe, Alien versus Predator, but it's been like a minute since I've seen that, and I think that's the only one I've seen. So
yeah, go back and watch those old ones.
I'm gonna tap back into that.
Yeah,
series.
Those old ones. It's that old school comedy. It's eerie. you know what it is. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna tap into that series.
Yeah, so that's the one I'm looking forward to. I did hear that Twister is good. I'm still trying to get out.
Good things, to be honest.
Yeah, I heard that was super fun, blockbuster to watch. And then Gladiator's coming out this fall.
The trailer didn't make me jump out of my seat like I
now okay. Are you a huge like Gladiator 1 fan with Russell Crowe?
Woo! Boy, that was probably like one of the first rated R movies I've seen. Okay. I saw that, like, I remember like sneaking into my older brother's room to watch that, bro. Like, And looking back, bro, that was Joaquin Phoenix, man.
Yeah.
Like a young Joaquin too,
Yeah.
man. Like he was good in that movie. Russell Crowe clearly good in that movie. Black man. Why is his name escaping me right now?
Is that Jimon?
Yes.
Jimon?
Yeah, he
I
was
forget his
great,
name.
bro. That's
He's
one of
always-
my favorite movies.
Dude.
So I'm curious to see. Denzel's in it, and he's been talking a lot of good things. He's been saying.
I'm about to say I've been seeing some stuff.
I just saw him say like the Coliseum, like they built like an entire Coliseum.
Yes. And they
to get
filled
the
it with
feel.
water too, right?
Yeah. So I've been seeing a lot of good things as far as like how the movie's made and a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So of course I'm gonna be in the seat, bro. But
Yeah.
20 years later, bro, they better not mess this up, dog.
Dude.
I'm not gonna hold you. This is like I hold this movie in very, very high regard, bro. Like this is probably a top 5 movie for me. So it's like,
all right.
They better not mess this up.
I think I've only seen bits and pieces of the first one.
Nah,
I
bro,
know that it's revered. Like people love Gladiator, love Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix. They love this movie.
And it's like 320. Like it runs for a while too.
I'm a tap in before it comes out. Actually, you know what? What we need to do is I'm gonna watch it, and then we're gonna do an episode on it.
Okay, I'll rewatch it. I can always rewatch that. I probably rewatched it last year at some point.
Okay,
I think I did, but
you said I'll tap in. I'm down.
Always, bro. That is one of my all-time favorite
movies. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that one. I know that one's coming out. Wicked is coming out, which is I think they both come out the same day, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Wicked. It was supposed to come out against Moana too. But then I think I think it's Warner Brothers. They were like, "Nah, we don't want that animation smoke. We don't want the kids and the families doing our money."
I mean, coming out the same day as Gladiator, 2 different fan bases.
That's still.
So they'll both do well.
I was about to say it'll be like an Oppenheimer Barbie type thing. So those are the movies. I might have been forgetting some stuff, but like those movies, bro. Those movies. But we'll get you back on, bro.
Yeah, man. Gladiator. Whenever you want to hop back on here, man, I'm
Yes,
definitely down to rewatch. I might go rewatch it tonight.
Look, you got me in the mood.
Bring it up in the hour segments.
Yes, sir. Real quick before you go, you got a podcast, don't you? You want to talk a little bit about that real quick so people know?
Yeah, sure. I'll plug it. It's called Africans Talk Football TV. Football, just like the American sport, but we Africans, so we call football across yonder. It's 4 of us: myself, my younger brother Gabriel, my friend Salam, who I met in college, and my friend Mike as well, who I met through Salam. We all went to Miami University down in Oxford, Ohio. But we try to drop episodes once a week. We're all fans of the English Premier League. So I'm a Chelsea fan. Gabriel's an Arsenal fan. My buddy Salam is a Manchester United fan, and then Mike is also a Chelsea fan.
Nice.
We usually have, guests probably like once a month who are just friends of ours.
Yeah.
There's a Liverpool fan. We have a Manchester City fan. So usually what we do is Sunday or Monday, we'll recap the past weekend's games. We'll kind of give our good, bad, and ugly of how our teams played and kind of just converse. And then any big soccer news that's popped up within the week, within the month, we'll kind of cover that as well. During the summers, we do a little bit of a hiatus, but earlier this summer we did a Euro Cup recap. We followed the Euros a little bit, and it was also Copa America, which is the Southern American tournament. So we covered that, and then we've dropped a few interviews. We just interviewed Dominique Badji, who is a professional player for DC United. So we just had him. We just dropped a part 1 and part 2. I believe part 2 dropped yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. Yeah, part 2 dropped yesterday. So we honestly got him. We got him a few weeks ago, and then he had a story, but he had to leave, so we ran back for a part 2. So those are both up on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube. We have a Twitch account as well, Instagram, TikTok, all social media. It's Africans Talk Football TV, or ATF TV for short.
Nice. Y'all go ahead and support my guy. They doing their thing. When does the season start?
So the English Premier League starts like I want to say August 17th or 18th is the first game, whatever that Friday is. Is that
I'm about
August
to
17th?
tap in this year. I got a buddy of mine. He's big into soccer. He's a Man U fan.
Okay.
I've been in and out of watching soccer. I've never kept up with it. I think this is going to be the year that I pay attention and I'm locked in to watching and see what's happening. So
Yeah, and so honestly, our full episodes on YouTube usually run like 60 to 90 minutes. Sometimes a little bit shorter, sometimes a little bit longer. Depends on what happened that week. You know, it was 4 of us. We can get a little, a little, you know, passionate about our teams. But if you're just looking for a quick hitter, or you kind of just want to learn about what we talk about, our Instagram and our TikToks, we have reels, we have snippets of like 30 to 60 seconds, of kind of just quick hitters. So we'll find 2 or 3 topics that kind of make sense about what happened that past week, and we'll talk about it, whether it be a player, whether it be some big news, or anything like that. So if you're looking to get into it, my thing would be just pick a team. It doesn't matter who the team is. It doesn't matter if you like them for their jerseys, if you like a player, you like his swag, if you hear a cool name. Just pick a squad and kind of just live with it. And that's what most people do. And you'll be surprised, man. These games are a lot of fun.
But all right. You heard it. I'm tuning in August. Premier League soccer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, you actually has the first game of the year. They play that Friday.
Ooh,
Yep.
You best
Coming up
believe.
here in just 2 or 3 weeks.
All right. ATF, y'all. ATF. All right, Pewu. My guy. Appreciate you all the way from the Heights days. And look at this. Years later, we still kicking in. And I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for coming on.
Man. Always. Thank you again for having me.
All right. And everybody else, thank you so much. Keep supporting the Real Table Podcast. We'll stay up to date with some reviews and some more episodes coming at you soon. I love y'all. Y'all be safe out here. Peace.
Peace.
Once again, thank y'all so much for joining me today on the Real Table Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and even comment. I want to hear your thoughts and I want to hear your opinions. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Real Table Pod and on Twitter at The Real Table. And don't forget to also check me out on therealtable.com for news, articles, and reviews. I will see y'all soon. Peace.